Welcome back to Real Takes, where we are all movie love all the time. I'm Ann Stott, and as some of you know, we start by talking about an organization I care about on this show, Real Takes. But next week is Election Day. There's early voting happening and vote by mail happening all over the country right now. So all I'm going to say is please vote. Please. Please vote. Please. Please vote. Please vote. Okay, that's it. That's my public service announcement for the day. All right, so we are deep in Scorpio season. And okay, I'm just going to say please vote again. Please vote to save democracy in this country. Please vote. I know the last time was important. I know everybody's exhausted, but we still have danger going on. So please vote. Okay, now I'm really done. We're in Scorpio season, the time of transformation, and we are talking about Scorpio artist and director Julien Schnabel, who made 2007's The Diving Bell and the Butterfly, which is to me like a quintessential Scorpio film, in that it's a film about a situation where you face great hardship and challenge and face your own mortality and come through to find something beautiful and freeing and more wonderful than you could have found without the challenge and the hardship. I think The Diving Bell and the Butterfly is one of my most favorite films of the 21st century, certainly, and maybe all-time favorite. I think it's a film that completely fulfills the potential of cinema in every way, from a visual perspective, from a storytelling perspective, from a sonic perspective, like every level on which cinema lives, or every creative element that cinema has, is executed so exceptionally and gorgeously in this film. I say this very infrequently, as much as I love many, many films. I think I've probably on this show only said this about Clute, which we talked about way in the beginning of Real Takes, directed by Alan Pakula, shot by Gordon Willis, starring Jane Fonda, Donald Sutherland, and a great ensemble cast. I say it about Moonlight, directed by Barry Jenkins, another great Scorpio film and another great Scorpio director. And I say that about this film. There are probably other films I feel that way about, but not that many. So, The Diving Bell and the Butterfly was directed by Julien Schnabel, who is also and was first a visual artist. He was a big name in the 1980s New York City art scene that happened with people like Larry Rivers and Ross Bleckner and Andy Warhol in a different time in his influence in the 80s before he died. And then he got into directing films. He first directed the film Basquiat, about the artist Jean-Michel Basquiat, starring Jeffrey Wright, which was a big part of, bringing the talent and skill that is Jeffrey Wright to many people's attention. And then he made another stunning movie called Before Night Falls, about a Cuban gay writer who escaped Cuba and came to America. Beautiful, beautiful film and story, starring Javier Bardem. And then he made The Diving Bell and the Butterfly. Now, The Diving Bell and the Butterfly is based on the memoir by Jean-Dominique Bauby, who was the editor of French Elle magazine, and in his 40s had a massive stroke experience that left him without the use of any part of his body except his left eyelid. And with the use of his left eyelid, he wrote a memoir. There's an alphabet system that he was taught where his assistant would sit with him and say the letters of the alphabet, and he would blink for the letter. And this way she would take down his memoir. And he wrote this memoir, The Diving Bell and the Butterfly, Le Scaphandre et le Papillon, in French. And Ronald, wait, hold on, let me get this right. Who was this? Ronald Harwood wrote a screenplay of it, and the screenplay was sent to Julien Schnabel, and he'd already read the book through other circles, and the person who'd given the book was with him when he was sent the screenplay, which felt sort of prophetic. And then he realized in reading the screenplay that it was the opportunity to try some visual ideas that he had for another script that never got made. And so he realized that there was all this visual freedom in this film, because what Jean-Dominique Bauby realized in having this experience of no longer having his body was that he had his imagination and his memory. Those were the two things left to him. And through that, he could live anywhere, see anything, experience anything through his memories and his imagination. And so Julien Schnabel realized that he could take that reality of someone who had claimed those parts of themselves as their essence and their being and bring that to life visually on film, which he does with, again, beauty and creativity and sort of multidimensionality. There is so much life in this film that's about a person who is constricted from living physically and facing their own mortality. And Julien Schnabel has said that the movie transcends subject. So there is this subject of this person who was living a very large, glamorous life and lost all of that. But the subject of the film is really about who are we? What is our essence? What is our humanity? What makes us who we are? And how do we embrace that regardless of what happens to us? And this movie embraces that reality beautifully. And as I said before, fulfills the potential of what the story is and what the experience was in a stunning way. They shot in the hospital where Jean-Dominique Bauby spent the last time of his life and used the setting. It was by the sea, and used all that setting. And they also shot a great deal of the film from his perspective, being in the bed, seeing the doctors and things around him. And there are a couple of uncomfortable physical moments in terms of medical stuff. I'm a little squeamish. They're not big. They don't last long. You'll be okay. But I just can't say enough about how beautiful this film is and how moving an experience it is, and what a Scorpio film it is. This is a film, both in the story and in the filmmaking, that goes through the fire to rise from the ashes as something greater. So The Diving Bell and the Butterfly, an incredible cast. Mathieu Amalric plays Jean-Dominique Bauby. Emmanuel Seigné is in it. Marie-Josée Crozet is in it. Max von Sydow is in it. Just a great ensemble cast, and a beautiful, important, stunning film. If you've seen it, let me know what you think of it in the comments. If you haven't seen it, please, please, please go watch it and then let me know what you think. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to see future videos, and I will see you next Wednesday. Thanks for watching Real Takes. Hit the subscribe button below so the algorithms will tell you when new episodes are out. And if you want to support Real Takes, please visit my Patreon page, where you can join at any tier from $2 to $100 per thing I make. The $15 tier is specifically about supporting Real Takes, and you'll get behind the scenes information and be thanked in future videos.
See you next Wednesday.